Hello everyone and welcome back to Phantom Sports Industries. My name is Joe Soisson. I'm a contributor for Phantom's hockey content. Recently, I did a video on 5 predictions for the Eastern Conference in the NHL for next season. And as you can tell by the title of this video, today we're talking about the Western Conference. So the same rules apply. In no particular order, these are 5 storylines that I think will be interesting to watch for the 2025-2026 NHL season. So to start things off, for the Eastern Conference, I picked a President's Trophy winner for my first prediction. So here, I'm going to pick a division winner. I think the Las Vegas Golden Knights will win the Pacific Division. Since 2017, nobody has won this division for back-to-back seasons if you exclude the bubble year when the divisions were realigned. The last team to win back-to-back was the Anaheim Ducks, who had won it for a 5th year in a row. But Vegas won this division last year, and now they add Mitch Marner to their roster. That alone feels like a pretty good reason to me to pick this team. But more than that, this could be the best roster in the Western Conference. Counting Marner, you have 7 players with more than 50 points last year. They added Colton Sissons, who's entering his 12th year in the league. They'll get a full season out of Brandon Saad, who had 14 points in 29 games with Vegas last year. And on defense, the only current defenseman on the roster to finish last year with a negative plus-minus is Jeremy Lauzon, who played for Nashville last season, and he only played in 28 games. At goalie, Aiden Hill was 6th in goals against average last year, and was also part of Canada's Four Nations roster. And your backup in net is Akira Schmid, who won a playoff series with New Jersey not long ago. I know it's not a hot take, but it is impressive for Vegas to be able to do this, especially in a division where Edmonton has been so good, and Los Angeles had your number last year. Ask anybody, home ice advantage means a lot for these players in the playoffs. For prediction number 2, we stay out in the Pacific. I think the Los Angeles Kings will dethrone the Edmonton Oilers this year. Los Angeles finished 2nd in goals against average last season, and they added Cody Ceci and Brian Dumoulin on defense. At goaltender, they added Anton Forsberg, who used to start for the Ottawa Senators. That's going to take some pressure off of Darcy Kemper. And on offense, they added veterans like Yoel Armia and Corey Perry. And I think that Edmonton is undervaluing what Corey Perry did for them. He was tied for 8th in points on the Oilers and tied for 5th among forwards. He had 10 goals this postseason, many of which were timely. And on top of his departure, Edmonton also lost Evander Kane, Connor Brown, and Jeff Skinner, which means they'll basically need to rebuild forward lines 2 and 3 this season. And while the Oilers' depth did play well in the playoffs, that's a lot of firepower and offensive output that's leaving the building. Meanwhile, Los Angeles, it feels like they got better at every phase of the game this offseason. For my third storyline to watch, I like the Utah Mammoth to make the playoffs this year. Over the past 4 seasons, this franchise has gone from last place in the Western Conference to 7 points short of a playoff spot. And I loved their offseason. They upgraded at every position. They traded for JJ Peterka. He'll be a top 6 forward, maybe even top 3. They signed Nate Schmidt, a defenseman who just won the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. And they added Vitek Vanacek, a goalie who's been on playoff teams in 4 of the 5 years of his career. I even loved their draft picks, even though they won't help them this year. It's also worth noting, they had a better goal differential than 3 of the 4 teams ahead of them for wildcard contention. So between an improved offense, a veteran defensive core, and 3 solid goalie options to work with this season, I think they can find 4 more wins and get themselves into the playoffs. Number 4 here is a little off topic, but still directly connected to the NHL. I think Joey Daccord qualifies for Team USA's Olympic roster this year. So we know who the starters are for Team USA. It's going to be Connor Hellebuck and Jake Ottinger in net. But that third spot is contentious. At Four Nations, Jeremy Swayman was goalie number 3. But for the past 2 years, Joey Daccord has had a better goals against average and save percentage than Swayman. And this is with both Boston and Seattle trading away players who had gotten them to the postseason before. Swayman did play better at the IIHF World Championship, but it was by a slim margin. Their save percentage difference was .16, and their goals against average difference was .31. If it's a slow start for Boston again this year, Daccord would not have to do all that much to put up stronger numbers for a third year in a row. And I think if that happens, you have to at least consider the option of putting Daccord in that third roster spot. And last but not least, for my 5th prediction, I have the St. Louis Blues making top 3 in the Central Division. St. Louis's top 6 point scorers are their top 2 forward lines, and none of them are leaving. They'll get a full season out of Jimmy Snuggerud, who had 4 points in the playoffs, and then this offseason, the Blues signed Pius Suter and Nick Bjugstad. So this offense that was 13th in goals per game average last year got much, much better. And while they did lose some defensive depth with Radek Faksa and Ryan Suter leaving, they did get younger, and guys like Tyler Tucker show a lot of promise. Plus, Binnington and Hofer both put up good numbers in net last year. Between the two of them, they put up a goals against average of 2.67 and a save percentage of 90.2%. I haven't loved a lot of the off-season moves from the Central Division teams, but I think quietly these St. Louis Blues have become a powerhouse in this division. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for the upcoming season for the Western Conference. If you've got any wild predictions, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below and I'll give them a read. But for now, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like our content, be sure to scroll down below and click the like button on this video. Also, while you're down there, be sure to hit the subscribe button to get notified of future uploads to this very channel. Also, check out our official website. That's phantomsportsindustries.com. Once again, my name has been Joe Soisson, and from the rest of Phantom Sports Industries, we hope to see more of you next time.